Hi, this is Tracy from We Craft at Home. Thank you for joining me. And as you can see, I'm doing another Pinflair project. I went to the yard sale, the last one they were doing. They've got one more on the 31st of August. I went to the last one and I got myself a few projects, this being one of them, the Christmas Eve chest. I'm looking forward to doing this. So, few tips. I have, although the picture shows it all in the same material, I chose two different materials, so a lighter one for the inside. It shows in the pictures two different materials, and I just think it looks nicer if it's different material on the inside. So what you want to do first is work out what material needs to be for the outside and what needs to be for the inside. And then always, so I don't know if everyone's got them, but I use them all the time, and that's these three spatulas, plus obviously the little one all the time. They're a godsend and they really make a difference. So I always have them ready with a pot of glue, and I have this ready in case I've got really delicate pieces. So the first thing we got to do is to put together, so you have two pieces that are, let me get the measurements right, 250 by 115, and two pieces that are 190 by 115, and you've got to stick them all together. Now it's fine detail, as you can see, and what you're going to do is stick, let me see if I can get a close up. So you're going to stick the smaller bits on the inside of the larger bits, like that. And for sticking edges, it is easier to use this. Just my tip there. So that you're going to end up with a box like that. And the next bit is to cut a piece of material. Now when you are cutting material, if you have directional material like I have, they're all facing up, so that it has to be that way. Just take care to make sure that you are putting it the right way. So the next thing is to put your glue on here. So I'm nearly down to the bottom of my pot, but I got some more when I was at the yard sale, so I'm not too worried. I always start off doing a little bit from halfway rather than starting on a corner. I don't know why, it just feels like it will glue better. So when you're gluing it down, make sure you got a little bit either side that you can tuck under when you're done. I can do this side first because it's a fluffy end, and we're going to overlap a little bit, not too much. So that's all we're going to do, and now we're going to just go round, add in the glue. Okay, so before I stick over it, you saw that came apart. I'm probably moving it around too much and didn't help it, so I just got some of the brown tape that you get in the packs and stuck some over it. I had some spare from another set, and I just stuck some over that just to help it stick together. The others were all okay, it was just that one piece. So I just wanted you to know. Okay. And then what we're going to do is just snip little corners out of each one. I'll try the little ones first on this one. So I'm just going to do a V at each one. I mean, you could just slice down the middle, but it might be easier just to take a V out of each corner. just so that they're slightly mitered. And you're going to do that top and bottom. Back to the small one. And this is great just for doing this bit. So all you're going to do is a little bit of glue all along, like that. A little bit more. Didn't do enough there. And then just push down. And again, you're going to do that all along both sides. Just make sure it's all stuck down okay. Go over anything you're not sure about. And there's your box base all done. Let's get rid of that. So I've done that like it says in the pictures. The next one is the large oval. So that's these. I've already done. So most of the rest of this I've already done. So that's these. And you want, so you have two thick pieces and two thin pieces. The thick pieces are the outside. The thin pieces are the inside material. And then you're going to stick a thick to a thin. That's how you do it. So that you end up with two of them like that. That's that simple. So we've done that. You know how to stick everything together. If you have an oval shape like this, then all you do is snip along every so often and it'll all just fold down nicely when you do that, when you're folding on the other side. The next pieces, just making sure I'm doing all this right, are these. So there's two thick pieces and six, just making sure I got this right, 6 thinner pieces. So the thick pieces have the outside material because it's going on the outside, and they stick, you stick 2 of the thin pieces on these and that's all inside, and these pieces are both, they're both thin pieces and they're both for the inside. So that's them. The same thing for a curve, when you're sticking the back down, just snip along and fold under and it works just like that. So we've got them. Cut the 8 pieces. And then we've got a large thin piece of card like this that I've just stuck with the outside material. It doesn't say, but I'm guessing you need the outside material just in case anything shows. So now is the tricky bit. Is it that way? Okay, so now what we've got to do is use these and stick this round it. And I'm going to use my Pinflair for this. It says get an elastic band ready. So I've got my elastic band. And I am just... See, I find it easier to use this. You could use one of the one of them and just do that all the way along. I find it a bit easier using this. So it's your preference really what you prefer to use. But for these ones I definitely prefer just using the bottle. I knew this was going to be difficult. Okay, so I'm using my belly. I don't know what an easier way would be around this. Was I meant to cover the inside of this? Ah, it's meant to go the other way round. I wonder if I can do it quickly. See where I've messed up now. I am just going to stick a bit of card. Okay, it wasn't clear enough in the details for me to do that, so I did mess it up a little bit, so apologies for that. If you just remember that this bit needs to be done with your inside material, not your outside. And you don't need to cover both sides, that's just because I made the mistake and put my outside material. Because what you're doing is you're gluing, so that's on the so the material on here is facing inwards and you would have just the cardboard here. That is how you're doing it, okay? I am sorry for that mix up. I hope I've made it clear how to put it right. Okay, so now I need to do it that way so that my inside material is showing on the inside. That is what I've done wrong. So let's start again. I'm going to have to re-glue it now. So let's try again. It is a little awkward. I don't know if my band would fit round. Okay, so that's how it's got to go. Keeping it all together though is a bit hard. Let's see if my band will go round. I don't think it will. Okay, that was a tough one. I had to come off in the end to make sure that I left it long enough to take before I do the other side. I'm hoping it's going to be all right. Take your time. Let's actually, I'm going to do it this way, I think. Just so there's not so much glue, maybe. Maybe that'll help. So remember to do your material the right way. Actually, just going to take the band off that end. Should be a bit easier now that I've got the shape and everything, I'm hoping. So what I'm going to do, put the elastic band around, but it's not tight enough to bring it totally together. So I'm just going to hold it for a little while. But I'll cut that bit out so you haven't got to watch me holding it. Not going to lie, that is a stressful bit, okay? But I have done it. Remember, when you're doing this, if you've got directional paper, or material, sorry, that you've got it going the right way for the box. Okay, so your box won't have material on the top. That's the mistake I made. And it'll be a lot neater underneath. I will sort that out after I've put the other two bits in. So the two thin cards that you've put together with the inner material, you're now going to stick in like that and stick the rest together. It'll make it firmer because it's not quite firm in the middle. So I am just going to quickly do that. That there. And then we'll just hold them both, push them down. I'm using my tummy on the other end. Okay, so I've done that. Tied a bit of ribbon around it because the elastic wasn't doing quite the right job. I'm going to leave that to dry for a little while because I missed out a bit. So I forgot to put the base on this. Now that's what it is. So you have a thick piece and a thin piece. The thick piece is the bottom, the thin piece is the inside. And you're just going to stick it straight on like that. So I need to put glue around all this. So let's do this. Okay, it doesn't actually tell you in the instructions to stick it together. It just says glue them pieces together to form the base of the chest. It doesn't tell you anywhere where you've got to stick it. Okay, so the shirting. There's a piece of shirting in the kit and you've just got to cover it with material. I've probably done the wrong colour again, but... And what you need to do is stick it there. Oh, I've got to cut it down because I added extra material. Just so that I knew it was going to be alright. So you're going to stick it there and then the outside of the lid because it's strong enough to hold it. So what you really want to do is try and fold it a little bit through the middle. and that gives you a rough idea where you want it to glue. So where are we? Glue the fabric around the shirting. So you put the fabric on, glue half of the width of the hinge to the back of the lid and the other half to the inside of the chest. So you're literally doing it like that. So we want half of it here to do the back of the box. Should have done it in the other material, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'm really not. I think we hide it anyway, so. You do tend to use a bit more glue when it's material because the material sucks it in. And remember, you're only sticking half. Okay? Like that. So then when the box is going on, you want to stick it to the outside, like that. I think that's what it says. Just make sure I'm doing it right. To the back of the lid and the other half to the inside of the chest. So we've done that bit, now we need this on the back of the lid. So let's do it this way, I think that might be a bit easier. It will be covered anyway because we cover. So we're sticking this side now, just along the top piece. Hoping you can see me. And then we will put the lid on. Just stick that to the back like that. Don't worry if it looks a bit messy because you've got another piece that's going over. Like I said again, remember your piece is not going to have material on. That's where I've wasted some and made a mistake. Okay, so the next bit is this bit, which is going to roll around the box like that and be the cover for the top. So you get all these bits. Now I made a huge mistake here and I missed one out. So I've covered it separately and I'm hoping it'll work okay because I'd already covered it before I realised. See, so we all make mistakes. So what's going to happen with that is just going to glue over the top, and then I'll just have to do that one separately and hope it looks okay. So let's see, which way are we? If that's the front, we'll do it that way. Just make sure we're going the right way. So we're sticking to the top of the box. You see the box is lovely size. Okay, I'm going back to this one. Let's get you out of the way. Okay, we'll do this bit first and then I'll do the little bit. So what you need to do is make sure you cover the shirting piece, because that's not a piece you want to keep. a cute snowman. Stuck it on, but remember you wouldn't have missed one out. I've just had to stick that separately because I missed it out of the set. So mine's unique, as they say. So I'm pushing down to push the back on so that the shirting is stuck down properly and the piece that's covering the shirting is on properly too. So we've got that. Now we need just to going to rest the back on there. I'm hoping you can see that. We need to do the insides, and all that is, you got two pieces like that, and they're going to go there, and then the arched pieces that we done at the beginning. You want them so that the outside is on the outside, and you can just stick them like that. And that's just extra support so that when you shut the box, it's properly shut. So let's glue them in. Okay, well, I think that is it. And then it's up to you to decorate as you wish. Make sure it's all firm and in place. You might have to go around a little bit and just, you know, stick an extra bit of glue here and there. But ideally, there we go. And it keeps the box shut, which is excellent. But that is the finished box. And look at the size of it. Let me see if I can show you. Look at it. That is such a cute paper, keep saying paper, cute material. There we go, now you can see. It's a really nice deep chest style box. I guess you don't have to use it for a Christmas Eve chest. But I love it. I think it's great. And I think my grandson, the youngest one, is the only one without one. So he'll be getting this. Sorry about my few mistakes, but at least you can see what not to do. We all make mistakes, that's how we learn. But there you go. Lovely box. I love this actually. Maybe all my grandkids will get nice new boxes if I know them at all. They'll be like, why can't we have one? So there's the box. I hope you enjoyed that, and if I don't see you at the yard sale, I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.